Welcome back. My new op-ed in the New York Post this week detailed the horrific attacks and death threats against journalist Andy Ngo in Portland, Oregon, for his coverage of Antifa activists. Just recently, he lost the lawsuit against two of his attackers who left him injured in broad daylight as he covered their protests in Portland. Andy Ngo joins us now along with his attorney, Dorothy Yamamoto. Thank you so much for joining us. Andy, let me start with you. You were attacked in broad daylight repeatedly by Antifa activists, and no prosecution was brought before you brought a civil action?
There were a number of attacks on me. One of them was in broad daylight. Nobody was prosecuted over that. And there was another incident where I was attacked in downtown Portland at nighttime, and that one was featured prominently in the trial. And again, no one was prosecuted over that. And
you were forced to take civil action against two of the people who are recognizable attackers.
I had to take civil action against two people who I allege had a role in the attack and other attacks as well. And that was my only way to get justice in Portland, Oregon.
And Dorothy, turning to you, this week then the jury sided with the Antifa activists. Explain to us how on earth a court could come to this decision.
We're still not sure, to be honest. The jury deliberations, it is a black box. We're not really sure what happened there. And one thing that is really disturbing is that one of the two incidences that the defendants were tried for involved a private incident at the gym where water was poured on Andy intentionally and a phone slapped out of his hand. And the defendant involved in that incident actually admitted to everything, which satisfies the elements of battery in Oregon, and the jury let them off. And so with such clear evidence and even an admission by the defendant, we are worried at this point that there is jury intimidation and an unfair trial that we have to question if that's what's going on.
And let's remember the first attack on Andy Ngo left him with a brain hemorrhage in hospital. So none of this was minor stuff. But can I ask you, Dorothy, again, just I was reading through the transcripts of the trial, and is this right? The attorney for the Antifa activists told the jury that in her closing statement, I'm wearing an I Am Antifa T-shirt, and she told the jurors that she would remember all of their faces. What do you think she meant by that?
So the last line was said in the context of her announcing her retirement. And I don't know what her intentions were and why she said what she said. But in my opinion, she did say it after we had been told by the judge that someone had been trying to access the identities of the jurors. And after the judge has told us that the jurors have concerns about their safety. And so I'm not sure what she meant, but she did say at the end that she's going to remember each of their faces or words similar to that effect. And unfortunately, that is how she left the jurors when she closed her closing statement.
Andy, you're a journalist. You've covered more than anyone, I think, in America, the activities of Antifa, their violence, their routine violence against state and other facilities, against individuals. They've attacked you. No prosecution was brought by the state. You brought a civil action, and this jury decided not to find any fault, it seems. What's your next plan? What are you going to do next?
Well, I'm weighing my options still at this time, still processing what happened last week. The trial really is how I imagine a mob trial would be. There were thugs essentially roaming the hallways, trying to intimidate both inside the courtroom and waiting outside the courthouse. Sheriff's deputies had stopped one of the Antifa comrades from trying to bring in a sharpened shiv type weapon in the lobby. There were statements from one of the defense attorneys, and the jurors were terrified throughout the week.
And one of the very few journalists covering it had her car attacked and stolen from. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, one of my colleagues at the Post-Millennial had her car smashed up after the verdict was read out.
Well, thank you very much, Andy, and your lawyer, Dorothy. And thank you so much for this. This is just a horrible, horrible story. And I hope that you'll keep fighting to bring this terrible injustice out and to a better public notice. So thank you to both of you.
Thank you.